Hey, I'm flexing so hard, turning bad into a stripper club.
The Chinese trifecta are still up and at it.
You say trifecta's 3 people? That's crazy, bro.
They're a hip-hop quartet, 4 MCs. It's a bit weird saying that. You tend to associate the word quartet with Vivaldi or something. Higher Brothers seem to have a lot of crossover appeal as a group, at least enough to warrant features from modern names like Ski Mask, Denzel Curry, Soulja Boy, Schoolboy Q, JID, and of course a bunch of the other signees to the 88 Rising label. I even heard that Joji produces a track or two, and from what I heard production-wise, it's all pretty slick and creative. The beats might have the loud clattering trap percussion that you'd expect, but there's a bunch of textures streaked and strewn atop it like laser lights show. However, despite the Higher Brothers' impressive ability to switch between Chinese and English whenever they feel like it, often in order to complete a set of rhymes very seamlessly, the flows are always a little bit clumsy in an attempt to get snug within that rhythm, and the album doesn't offer that much in terms of substance anyways. Truthfully, I'm still having trouble remembering very much, even in the way of hooks, which is ironic considering how much they try to hammer them in. They have a bit of a manifesto of what they chat about, so you don't need to worry about missing anything lyrically, but if your concern lies with what impression the music will give you, there's not really much here either, because it seems that the personalities of the Higher Brothers are derived from hip-hop trends that already existed before they hopped in that wagon, and even some of the stars featured here can't carry the excitement. Like, cool, Denzel Curry's here for a moment, but is that all the song is gonna offer me? Rich Brian sings the hook on Zombie pretty good. Soulja Boy's contribution being negligible here was a bit of a shame considering he invented hip-hop. Sorry, I can't not laugh at that one. Which is a shame because I even bought a fresh pair of Soulja Pods to listen to him on. I swear, JID phoned his verse in so hard. When Ski Mask's one gimmick browsing through the Cartoon Network catalogue for inspiration has more punch than what you write, I think it's time to reevaluate. They might be joyriding the black cab, but that thing's riding in the middle of the road, you know? It's a 5 out of 10 from me. I feel like there's a lot more to pull from modern musical aesthetics than simply repackaging them with silly references to anime and tofu every once in a while, which leads me to... Triad God had a bit of a mysterious hiatus since the release of both his debut mixtape and the collaborative single with producer and enigmatic director of the 9/11 Roblox simulation video, James Ferraro. However, for the Hong Kong Vietnamese musician to return with an album that feels more like a formative statement to be at peace with oneself feels honestly beautiful. Triad God has a lot more to seem inspired by than just hip-hop or the new wave of R&B. It seems like he channels a lot of spirit from progressive synth soundscapes. Maybe he was on hiatus because he was listening to the entire Tangerine Dream discography. Babe Don't Go sounds like a bare bones take on dancehall.
Baby, don't go, don't go. Baby, don't go.
That not only boils the instrumental down to a few synth melodies and the occasional drum sound, Triad's own lyrics are reduced to one single mantra repeating through the entire thing, and somehow it sounds great. There is an effect this album has when very little actually seems to be going on, and it's an eerie feeling that something is missing, a feeling of detachment. You could call it sounding unfinished, but if you bump The Life of Pablo and condemn this one, you're mad. Most of the album isn't even taken up by formative songs, but rather spoken word pieces of which Triad will switch between languages, which leaves me in the dark as an English-speaking listener, an aspect of listening to this that Triad seems to be very aware of as he hints at the fact that you probably don't know what on earth he's saying, hilariously decided to be said on a track called Guaylo. That's brilliant, but that doesn't strip away your ability to feel that there is very heartfelt emotion to be heard here, leaving the album sounding a lot more like a personal document of self-reflection than something to be enjoyed in a typically musical manner. His voice is fragile, whispery, like he's mumbling to himself, and most of the instrumentals here cradle that supremely well despite how formless they seem to be. A few of them just sound like my first project in Sibelius, and I could have sworn Chinese New Year just delves into illegible dialect anyways, but that one's produced by Organ Tape, so that just makes sense. I think eventually it comes to be realized that Triad God just functions as an artist whose own personal statements come first. The rest of the music is merely built around it, and although it's presented in disjointed crumbs of psyche, creations like this make me realize that I don't always care about musical structure, technical ability, vocal strength, production value, but I do always care about feeling. 6 out of 10.